all the honourable members for all of the questions that have been asked. And some of the questions are quite operational, and I will give an opportunity to the CFOs who are here to respond to some of the detail. But let me deal with some of the broad issues. So I think the first, and Chair, I'm not going to go through each and every question because I think there were clusters of issues, and I will address myself to the cluster of issues. So I think the first set of issues relates to the Road Accident Fund. And let me say, for clarity on my position as the shareholder, that we have something called the Accounting Standards Board. If you wish to change the accounting standards that you use, the board must agree to those accounting standards. So there's no problem in principle with RAF approaching the Accounting Standards Board and saying, in our view, we want to use these accounting standards, not those accounting standards. And should they get that permission, that's fine. The issue at stake here is they do not have that permission, and this has resulted in ongoing litigation between themselves and the Auditor General. Of course, there was a question about precedent with taking the Auditor General to court. Yes, the DA government in the Western Cape took the Auditor General to court and won. I think it was around 2012, 2013, and the issue there was the question of whether or not welfare organizations that receive subsidies from the department should be regarded as service providers, where they are providing in-house care and so on and so forth. So, yes, there is precedent, and the Democratic Alliance set that precedent. I think that what we're dealing with in the RAF situation is we've now lost the third court case. So the question is not whether we should have taken it in the first place, but the question is, should we go on with this litigation? And my view is we should not. And I guess I'm the shareholder. And when other parties win elections and they are shareholders, they will make other decisions. And that's democracy. Where I think we all agree is there is a necessity for urgent legislative reform. And that necessity is that we can't have situations where people's access to lawyers determines the extent to which they do and don't benefit from the fund. Because if I get 500 million for my road accident, it can mean that if someone else were to have a road accident, there might not be money left in the fund. And we have to protect the state from the contingent liability. So I don't think that any of us disagree on that issue. On the issue of whether or not foreign nationals should benefit from the fund, I suppose that is a taxation issue, because the way the taxation works on this particular fund is that you pay a fuel levy. So if you're buying fuel and you are driving in South Africa, I guess you're entitled, by virtue of the fact that you're paying tax, you're entitled to be compensated. But the real question is whether or not we should be putting a limit on the benefits. And my view is that we do need to have a scale of benefits, and we do need to be putting that limit on the scale of benefits. I also think that having a no-fault inclusion in the legislation would really mean that it wouldn't be such an appetizing playground for those who might be in the legal profession. Let's come to